Now, rejection, even though you know you're right, still hurts. I had 2 experiences in the last 10 months. Now, here's where I'm really taking a chance, all right? So hold on. I'm going to tell you 2 negative things that happened to me just in the last few months. Now, who wants to hear negative stuff? I don't like it, but I'm going to tell you anyway, and you'll know why when I get to the end. There is a deliberate reason I'm telling you these 2 negative stories, because I'm coming back to them at my conclusion, and you'll know wonderfully why. Here are the 2 negative stories. About 8 or 9 months ago, I hired a tutor for Allison, our daughter, in a particular subject. Happened to be music, and she's better than I am. And I wanted to give her some training, piano, other things, and I hired a tutor, and we went for a couple of lessons. The woman was great, and she asked me what I did, and I said, I'm a public speaker and a writer. She said, well, you're gone a lot. I said, yes. She said, who do you speak for? And I mentioned some companies, some corporations that I've spoken for, a number of different organizations. And then I said, but the best one is the one I'm personally a part of, the vast Amway network all over the world. I said, that's the best one, and I love it, and I speak for them all over the world, and I love it. And when I said that, the woman immediately reacted. She made the sign of the cross. Now, wait, I don't mean the Roman Catholic sign of the cross. Have you ever seen these old 1930s and 40s vampire movies? She went like this to me. And when I said, I'm involved in this great business, she went, oh no, and went like that, as if I were evil. And I said, excuse me? And she said, well, I just thought I didn't want anything to do with that. And I just was so disturbed that you're a part of it. And I said, these are the greatest people in the world. They're fantastic. It's the greatest business on earth. I said, it's wonderful. And we had a long conversation at that point. Now, about a month later, I was a guest delegate for a convention of one of the largest food and restaurant organizations in America. They have a higher profit margin than McDonald's, Kentucky Fried Chicken, or Pizza Hut. They're one of the best food service companies in America. And I was asked to be a guest by their vice president. I went as a guest to the convention in Florida, and I was at a table with one of the vice president's wives. And she said, what do you do? And I mentioned this organization and all these organizations. And she coldly said, I don't believe you're working with those people. And I said, ma'am, those people are the greatest people on earth. And about this time, her husband came over and said, sweetheart, I don't think we should say that, because I know some of these organizations. He's right. They're great. And they're wonderful. Now, on both occasions, I encountered a negative person. Now, remember what I said. For every 1 negative I get 10 positives. Don't think everybody's negative. They're not. But when you do get the negative, how do you handle it? I have taken a few extra minutes to bring you to this point, because I now want to dissect in detail what rejection is, why it hurts, and how to handle it. Because all of you will hit negative at some point, or it will hit you and it hurts. So let me give you now the first list. There are 7 basic reasons why people reject you. Why do they do it? There are 7 basic reasons why they reject you, your dream, and your hope of financial freedom. Why do they do it? All right, number 1. 7 reasons. Number 1, people will reject you at times, number 1, because you have become a threat to their lack of performance. You have become a threat to their lack of performance. You are a flesh and blood reminder of their failure. You come bouncing into their living room and you say, it doesn't matter who you are, you can win. It doesn't matter what your educational background is, you can be rich. It doesn't matter what your current situation consists of, you can be free. And if they are not willing to perform, if they are not willing to work, if they are not willing to win, you become an automatic threat to them. And at times they will rebel and will push you out of their life. It may be your mom, it may be your sister, it may be a friend with whom you grew up, and you will say, you can win through this business, and they will say no and reject you because you've become a threat to their lack of performance. Number 2, the second major reason why people reject you. Number 2, they reject you because of jealousy. Now that's closely related to number one, but slightly different. Jealousy. Because you make them uncomfortable. They're jealous of your success, jealous of your attitude, jealous of your freedom. You have chosen, well, let me change this. You have dared to break out of the pack. You've dared to bust free for freedom. You've dared to be different. And you've dared to want financial independence. And because of that, at times there can be created an intense negative jealousy toward you. So the first reason people reject you, you have become a threat to their lack of performance. Number two, jealousy. Number three, people reject you because of what I call a status quo orientation. A status quo orientation. They like where they are. It may be miserable, unhappy, and empty, but they like where they are because they are secure in the comfort of the familiar. They have a status quo orientation, and they don't want to be jarred loose from that position. And you come and challenge them, and you say you can change, and you can be free, and you don't have to live in debt, and you don't have to worry about the mortgage on your home, and you don't have to sweat and fear at night because you don't know how your future is going to be financially. You say you don't have to do that, and they say, I don't want to change. They would rather cling to certain misery than take a chance on uncertain change. And so they love their status quo orientation, and they don't want to budge or be kicked loose from that position. And they reject you and reject your dream and reject your plan. That's number three. Here's four. Number four, people at times will reject you, and this is very common in our business. People will reject you because of misunderstanding. They have a misperception or a misconception or a misunderstanding of what we actually do. They have a misunderstanding of the nature of this business. They've heard a rumor or they've gotten a false image from someone else. Now, what do you do to counteract false information? You give them the truth. You give them accurate information in return to counteract what's wrong. Now, you have a great opportunity here because in the tapes and the books, tapes, books, and functions, you have an incredible, wonderful opportunity to re-educate hundreds of thousands of people. You can train them. You can show them the truth that this is a great, legal, honest, moral, legitimate business that produces for people who are willing to produce. And if someone, this is very important, if someone has an honest mind and an honest heart and they are hungry for success, but they just don't understand our business, they will respond when you give them the facts. Now, if they don't respond, they have another reason for rejection. And if they tell you they just don't understand, they may not be telling you the truth. But there are those who really, truly don't understand what we do, and we have to educate them. All of you, you are thousands of professional educators in this business, training people how to succeed on a personal level. So the fourth one is misunderstanding and misperception. Number 5, the fifth reason why people reject you at times, and I almost hate to give you this one because this is more personal. This one's tough. And this one will be a bit uncomfortable. The next two, in fact, will be. But they are true. The fifth reason why you are rejected at times is there are those occasions when people reject you, number 5, because they don't entirely trust you. Now, you have a reputation with everyone. Even if someone knows you casually, you still have a reputation with them. It may be good, it may be not so good. But you have a reputation. If you have had a record in the past of bouncing into people's lives and with great excitement talking about some great opportunity, and then you fail to come through, they will not trust you and you will lose credibility with that individual. Now, what do you do in this particular case? What you do is you rehabilitate your reputation by performance. You rebuild your reputation and credibility with people by proving to them the business works by working the business. You show them the income, the money, the pin levels, and you prove it. Not just with cheap talk, but with action and performance, you prove it. And that will win them into your business. But sometimes they will reject you because of mistrust. You have a past record or pattern of failure to perform, and you have to overcome that by your patterns now. Number 6, here's the other one that's not quite as comfortable, but it's still true. The 6th reason why people may reject you is that there are those times and occasions when they do not like you. Now you say, how in the world could someone not like me? How is that possible? But you need to take a personality inventory right now. Dexter Yeager and I are working on our 6th book, our newest book, for release next year on people skills. And Pat and Greta and Jerry and Mandy and I were talking backstage about it a few minutes ago. It's going to be a great book. And one of the tape packs that I brought with me over here is on people skills. And they told me that's one of the ones that sold the best yesterday. And this is a subject that of such great importance when it comes to building any kind of a business for one reason. Here's the reason. A basic business principle is this. A basic principle is people do business with people they like. They like. If you tend to be abrasive, if you tend to be a walking verbal disaster, if you are a human flamethrower, if you're someone who destroys people when they disagree with you, and then you wonder why don't they want to be in my business, you have the logical answer right in front of your face. If you're uncomfortable and disturbing and obnoxious and abrasive and difficult to work with, if your ego dominates your relationships, no wonder people will not be comfortable working with you. So these are skills, thankfully, that can be developed in this business. You have leaders, diamonds and emeralds and pearls, who can train you in skill with people, how to love people in. Because the best way to get people in your business is to love them in and to win them and to persuade them by the love and commitment of your heart. But sometimes people reject you because there's some negative in your personality and they don't like you. And you have to overcome that. Number 7, the 7th reason why people reject you, the 7th reason actually has nothing to do with you at all. The 7th reason is in them. The 7th reason for rejection is that at times people have a personal pattern of past rejection in their own life, and they are reacting to everybody. Everybody. It's not you. It's not personal at you. They have been hurt, and they have been warped, and they have been wounded, and so they are lashing out at everybody. They have a past pattern of rejection. How do you win that person? With patience, with consistency. You show them that you're not building a business with them to use them or manipulate them. You're building a business to help them win. The genius of this organization is that you succeed when you help someone else succeed. That's the power and the beauty of what we do. So you win these people because they've had past patterns of rejection in their own life. Now those are the 7 basic reasons why people do this to you. But why do you find it so hard to handle? I have 7 further reasons why rejection is so difficult. Here they come. Now remember what I'm doing. Here are 7 further reasons why you find rejection so hard to handle. And don't worry, I don't think I am going to fall off. I saw someone look at me very nervously a moment ago. I don't think I'm coming down. Hang on. There are 7 reasons why people reject you, and there are 7 reasons why you react badly to rejection. Here they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we go. Number 1. The reasons you find rejection hard to take and tough to swallow. Number 1, because rejection throws doubt on your judgment. That's why you hate it. You hate rejection so much because it throws doubt on your judgment. It questions your decision making. Now, when someone rejects you, what they often do is they're not rejecting your ability to do this business. They're not rejecting your ability to build it. They're rejecting your judgment on choosing this business. That's what really cuts in your heart. When some people reject you, they do it in such a negative, face-slapping manner that it insults your intelligence. And they make it seem as if you are a fool to do this. And you're stung and you back up. And no wonder you hate rejection, because when some people do it, they are throwing doubt on your good judgment, your ability to make good decisions. Second, the second reason why you hate rejection is because rejection challenges relationships you thought were secure. This is very important. Rejection challenges relationships you thought were secure. Now, here's where I'm going to give you a very personal story. I told this yesterday. I've only told it a few times in my life, but I'm going to repeat it this afternoon. It's a very personal story. It's from something having to do with a past experience in my life. I know this is a business meeting, but this personal story will illustrate what I mean about business. A number of years ago, when I was a teenager, I had an experience that totally changed my life, but affected my relationships in an unexpected way. When I was a young teenager, I came from a very close family. I'm an only child, and I'm very close to my mother and my father. My mom is a sweet, gentle, small woman who has always been totally supportive of me. Anything I wanted to do, she would back me 100%. So I did not expect the violent, hostile response that I received when this occurrence happened in my life. My dad took me to a church. We didn't have a religious background at all, and he took me to a church. I knew nothing about what they were engaged in, but during that meeting, a man explained to me with great simplicity how I could know Jesus Christ in my life personally. And I responded that morning and asked Christ to come in my life. Totally changed my life, and has to this day. Most wonderful thing that's ever happened to me. And I went home. Now, this is a business meeting, not a religious meeting, but listen to what I'm going to say. I went home to my sweet, precious, supportive, gentle mother. And I walked in and said, Mom, the greatest thing in the world has happened to me. Jesus Christ has become real in my life. I've asked him to come in my heart. And my mother reacted with almost animal-like viciousness. She said, you shut up. And you leave this house, and you never say that name in this home again. I was stunned. I was shocked. I was speechless. I went into my room and cried my heart out, and I do not cry easily. Now, my mom became a vibrant, wonderful, committed Christian about a week later, and I'm thankful for that. But I still remember the horror of that rejection. How I had done something at that point she did not want me to do. And because of that, rejection was poured onto my life. Now, some of you are Jewish or Muslim or other religious groups, and I do not tell this story to offend any of you or to make you feel as if this is a Christian meeting. It's not. This is a business for everybody. We're all in it together. This is my personal experience. But let me add this. That experience taught me something. That rejection from someone you love is the hardest rejection of all. Have you walked into your mom and dad's home and told them you're building this business and they don't approve of what you do? Have you had that experience? Have you had someone close to you, a relationship you thought was secure, have you had that relationship pulled out from under you because you're building a dream? It may be, listen carefully, it may be that your mom and dad or your brother and sister, and I don't mean to be critical of them, I don't even know them, but it may be that they have chosen to be comfortable at a lower level of mediocrity. And you've decided to stand up and be different and be free. And because of that, they want to grab you and pull you back down. And that relationship you thought was totally secure is now challenged and insecure. That's why you hate rejection. Now, those relationships can be healed and repaired. I've seen a lot of people who are negative about the business when their sons and daughters became emeralds and pearls and diamonds become wonderfully positive. A radical transformation. Hey, take me on a cruise again, son. I love it.